Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's October the 8th, 2022. A little bit drizzly out right now, but I think the sun's going to come out, and hopefully that means I can get out and see some of the fall colors and capture them for you. So that's going to be the plan later on. But today's plan is That Dad Guy Answers. So there's been a few questions that have come in. I have one question that showed up late last week and I was able to still capture it. So I'm going to answer that one first before getting into the questions that were actually put on the video for this week. And last week's question came from Basil in India, and he said, how is World Postcard Day treating you? Or how did it treat you? And are you overwhelmed, below expectations? Are you feeling that you're missing out on a meetup? All right, so last week, October the 1st, was World Postcard Day. I did a lot of preparations for it. I wrote a bunch of cards up in advance and prepared them, but managed to get out 49 cards for October the 1st. So yeah, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of preparation for it. It was fun to try to create a card, which I did this time around, and send it out in limited numbers. I did have a few people ask me after I post the video if they could have one of the cards, but unfortunately by that point they had all been sent. So next year maybe I need to make extras and send out some for World Postcard Day and then hold some back for people that want to swap. It's a thought, so we'll see what happens next year. Now, this was only the second World Postcard Day I'd ever done, and I guess there's only been 3 of them so far for Postcrossing, at least with getting your badge for them. Some people have asked, have you already gotten your badge? No, I haven't gotten it yet because it does take time for those cards to reach their destination. Those are the registered ones. I sent out 7 of those, so we'll see how long it takes to get to their destinations. And then once they get registered, the badge will appear. So that's how that works. Going back to questions, was it overwhelming? At times, yeah, it was at times, because I felt pressure that I wanted to get all these out, that I wanted to surprise people and make sure they were dated for October the 1st and canceled on October the 1st. So that was some pressure, but managed to get there. Am I feeling I'm missing out on a meetup? No, not really, because the only meetup we've ever had here anyways was a one-time thing in Moncton in the summer, and it was great to do it, but I've never really had an expectation that on October the 1st there would be a meetup, and there isn't any in my area, so it's not something I'm missing out on. But I have enjoyed seeing people's posts saying that they've gone to them and that they had a great time at them, so that's wonderful that people on October the 1st did have a place to go and celebrate World Postcard Day with other postcrossers. So that's fantastic. All right, now let me switch over. Thank you, Basil. I'm going to switch over to the questions that showed up on the ones that I want. Oh, let's get me here. Get in the right spot. All right, so first question comes from Wendy here in Canada. She says, do you cut back all the grapevines each fall, and were the grapes good this year? So if you've seen my videos of me walking around the property, I do have grapevines all over my back deck and along the side of my house, a variety of different ones. They were plentiful this year, and the green ones that I had growing were fantastic. They were super sweet, really enjoyed those. I think the birds really enjoyed them too. The purple and grape ones were a bit bitter, so I didn't enjoy those ones nearly as much. As far as cutting back the vines, yeah, I slice them back, not way back to the original stock, anything like that, but I do like to get rid of some of the low-hanging ones and cut them away from a few of the plants that are growing around that they get entangled with. Down the side of my neighbor's property, I like to chop them back a little bit more so that it's not encroaching on his area too when he's mowing. So I do need to get on that and clean that up here in the fall. So that's what I do with those. But it was a good year. We had a hot summer, so the grapes grew and we had lots and lots of them, and the birds loved them. And the kiwis that are intertwined on the grapevines on the side of the house were really good as well. So glad that. Let's see, some of these are not questions. They are just comments on the video or things in general. This is a good one. This comes from Jonathan. I'm not sure where Jonathan is from, but he said he was directed here by Jilly B. So if you haven't followed Jilly B living her life her way, you should go and check out her channel. It's fantastic. And I'm glad that people from other channels are finding me through them too. So that's cool. I love how this community works together to build each other up. So thank you, Jonathan, for that. He says, have you ever posted a video containing on how you store your postcards? Actually, I have. And I sent you the link in there so you can check it out. But if someone else was wondering the same thing, yeah, there is a video of how I store my postcards. I'm going to get into it a bit here, though, because other people are asking questions about storage, too. So I got a question from Eric. Also, not sure where this Eric is from, but he says, a request for maxi cards. Have you ever gotten any through your official Postcrossing or otherwise? Through official Postcrossing, I haven't. But through friend swaps, I have. So I'll show you a couple examples. This is an official maxi one that I got recently. So this is the new Transformer cards that came out in England, and you can see the stamp there on the front. So the only thing that didn't happen with this one is it wasn't canceled on the front. They continued to cancel on the back, right by the airmail. So no stamp got canceled, which makes it even more special for me that it's a mint stamp on, well, mint has been used, but a clear stamp on a clear card. So there's that one that showed up. That's a nice maxi card. The other way that you can kind of get maxi cards, it's not the same because you're not getting the stamp on the front with the postcard where the cancellation mark should be, but this is another kind of maxi card. You have the same stamp on the same postcard. This one is extra special to me, not that the other one isn't special, but with what's going on in the Ukraine, we want to show our support for that. So when this one arrived from the Ukraine in a swap, I was very pleased. I didn't ask for this card or the stamps, but that's what was said to me. So I appreciate that. So when you're looking for maxi cards, these are two kind of ways you can get, but the real maxi card is this one here, where the stamp is on the same side as the postcard and the cancellation mark is on that too. So I haven't gotten too many of those, but every once in a while, one or two shows up. And I would say probably if I went through all my books, I might have 4, maybe 5 of them, but I appreciate them when they do show up. Very cool. All right, so thank you, Eric, for that question. And then here's another question here. So another one from Eric. He says, do you separate your officials and your non-official card collections? How do you organize them chronologically by theme, and can you show them? All right, so I do separate. I have binders. And inside the binders, I have all these pages, plastic pages. So you can slide in 2 cards. You could slide in 4, you could have them back to back, but if you do that, you won't see the writing and the stamp that's on the card, and that's just as special as the card to me. As a stamp collector, I like seeing the stamps. I don't take the stamps off the postcards, so they have to stay with those, and I like to read the message. I'm not going to flip through and show you all those because I don't have my address covered. I do have a new address, though. I did put it in the last video, and I'm going to put it in the description of all my videos going forward, but it is that dad guy at P.O. Box 22, Station Main, Moncton, New Brunswick, E1C 8R9, Canada. So if you ever want to reach out and send me something, you can do it that way. I won't have to cover the address anymore, at least for the ones that use that P.O. Box. So that'll be a nice thing for me, and it'll save paper and all the other things that come along with that. So thank you for that. So yes, I have binders. This one here, direct swaps, cards number 251 to 500. So those are my direct swaps, and you'll see them up here. That's where I store them. So I've got 3 binders on the go for direct swaps. I have 2 binders on the go for my official Postcrossing ones. I am at, I keep track, 633 direct swap cards I've received already. I think I'm about 220 from official Postcrossing. So I'm getting a lot more swaps than I do officials, but that's the nature of it. When you first start out with Postcrossing, you only get 5 slots. And to get those to send to their destinations and get back from, it takes time. So I can now send up to 13 cards out, which still isn't a lot. I know there's people that are already at 100, but they've been doing it for over a decade, and it takes a long time to get there. And even if you get to 100 cards that you can send on a regular basis. I don't know how many people that would be sending that many all the time. You would go broke. It's very expensive to be having 100 postcards on the go all the time. But yeah. All right. So thank you, Eric, for that. Hopefully that answers some questions for some other people about how you store postcards, or at least how I store postcards. But if you look in the video I put out, you can search through and see it. I'll actually put a link, I think, in the description, maybe here as well. So you can just click on that link to see that video. I gotta figure out how to do that, because I'm doing this video on my phone. So it's not as easy sometimes just to grab links, but I will do it. Yeah, I can do that, no worries. Have faith. I'll put it in the description, so if you want to click and see how other people that have been subscribers of mine who sent in examples, how they've been storing their postcards, you can do that too. And then if you're new to Postcrossing, you decide how you want to store them. Do you want to store them in binders and look at them that way? Do you want to keep them in a box? Do you want to separate them by country? I keep mine in order of how I've received them, so they're numerical that way, but I know other people will save them and put them in by countries that have come in. Some people, you know, put them by all the cat cards in one, or all the hedgehog cards in together. I am not adverse to changing my routine as this hobby grows, and changing how I store things. I may do that. Even a simple question is, what maxi cards do you have and what do you like to get? It's not easy when you store them this way. You've got to go through and look through every card in order to find the one you want. So if it was stored maxi cards all together, it'd be super easy to do. All right, I think that is all the questions I have today. So if you have a question for me, please leave it in the comments, and I'll get to it next week. If you want to send something, use my new P.O. Box address. You can send it that way. And if you put a return address on it, you give me a way of contacting you back. If you don't want me to contact you back, don't leave me an address. And you can always send me an email too if you're planning on sending something to me, or you're looking to do a swap. I'm not doing as many swaps now as I used to. So I have a core group that I am swapping with on a regular basis, but I can't do everyone that's coming through, like the people that have been asking for the World Postcard Day cards. I can't send them to you because I don't have any of them left. So unfortunately, there might have been a poor thinking on my part to only print a limited number. But for those limited number that get them, let's let you know that you're in a small company of people that have that card now. All right, that's all I've got for today. I'm going to go off, hopefully, and see some fall colors. And if I do, I'll take some video and bring you along so you can see it later on in the weekend. For those of you in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving weekend. Monday is a holiday, and many people get together with their families and friends and celebrate. If that's what you're planning on doing, enjoy. If you're by yourself but just enjoying the holiday, you want to get out and walk and enjoy the nature, go do that too. If it's not a holiday and Monday's back to work for you wherever you are, I'm sorry for that, but hopefully you will enjoy your Saturday and Sunday and make the most of that too. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?